Welcome back, and yes, tomorrow Saturday will be here, and that nostalgic feeling you'll get when you hear that song, the one produced by Fortune Day. The title again is original. Is it original? Yeah, I think it's original. Yeah, it'll be a great conversation though tomorrow, but we're looking forward to that. But before that, we are hungry, so we're going to be talking about food blogging, yes. So, I am food. Guys, I'm throwing this to you. Somebody help me out because I'm very, very hungry. I'm very hungry.
What do you want to eat?
What do you want to eat? Is it the morning feeling or you are just hungry in general?
No, just talking about food and the fact that, we've moved this conversation, like Generation Z has moved this conversation from just tasting food to appreciating food.
Yeah, the whole experience.
Yes, and there are people in there who have been key to this, Cyril, let me allow you to do this introduction for me, please. Because he's been talking about you since yesterday. Like, he's been talking...
Which name do you want me to use?
Zubaidah.
Okay.
Did they also
so if you're on social media and you've seen a handle Zubaidah.x flying around on IG, especially pictures of food, videos, plush interiors, all the jamming in Accra, you're wondering, this girl, why? Well, it's not for shaggy reasons. Actually, one of the leading food bloggers, international food blogger. She's labeled herself as a foodie and a traveler. So she does two things.
International.
I know the international. We'll get into all of the international. She's an international foodie and traveler. And what she basically does is bring us culinary experiences and the whole makeup of the environment around them. From the green tables at the roadside. Is that Kataodi so?
Auntie Muni.
Auntie Muni. From Auntie Muni's community style wache to the plush interiors of Accra's finest dining experiences, Kempinski, you name them. I'm not going to give free shout outs to all the restaurants, but Zubaidah has been there. And we are very, 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 very honored, especially Jay Foley, to have you here today because we like food. He mentioned that he likes food. I know Lenny. I know Lenny loves. Oh, we know. Let's not play. And Miss G, don't take it like she's there proper. Miss G likes food.
Like food. Let's stay on Lenny, who eats rice
for breakfast.
20 minutes.
Don't do that to me.
Don't
do that to me.
Where does the food go? That's the problem.
Lenny's metabolism is the part I'm jealous of. Because she can eat, but the body is still standard.
Hey.
Those of us that when we look at one chips, when we look at the chips,
one intro that
I like food more than you. When you were saying you like food, I was thinking in my head, fully.
you have no idea.
I'm doing food and I'm organizing dessert. Welcome to Culture Daily. Welcome to the Big Conversations, Beta.
Thank you.
Wow.
Hey. He said
thank you. My voice isn't very loud, so.
Hey, today you speak up. Otherwise.
So in summary, this is Eat, Blog, and Talk. And of course we know that it's a bad habit to eat and talk, but we're not talking that side of, eating and talking, but we're talking about, about food and appreciating it and people who have decided to take this on, as an art. But let me ask you, what pushed you into this space? You can't say because you just love food.
I was literally about to say that. That's my go-to, but let me see. Do you want the dramatic story? Or
the dramatic story.
We're all about the drama here. Hit us.
So I realized that the youth needed jobs, right? And no, I'm totally fucking with you. It's a thing I've always done, eating out. So after a while, I realized that online, it was one of those things people used to complain about, not being able to budget when they're going out. I think it started from a Twitter thread. Somebody made a thread about how he went on a date and he ran out of money. So if there was a resource for that. Yeah. So when I started, it wasn't even with the food reviews. It was just with menus. I had a database for menus in Accra. Yeah. But then since people kept asking me, where is this? Whenever I post it, where is this? How much is it? And stuff. I was like, okay, maybe I could start with that as well. And eventually it became a whole thing. That's literally just it.
Okay.
So you just woke up one day?
Oh, no. See, I've been eating out from way before. For example, I feel like most people didn't know this, but On the Run started delivering first in Ghana. And this was in 2007 or so. So you see, it's something I've been doing for years, literally just eating out. Professional
eater. You and Lenny, best friends.
So, that perception about people who eat out that they don't know how to cook, that's what I keep asking. I
know how to cook.
You just love to eat out.
Yes.
So, yesterday I was actually having a fight with a friend of mine. She said that why do you guys always want to make sure a woman knows how to cook before she's reached this thing for you? Like she's there. And I was like, well, it's part of
the box.
It's part of this thing now.
I don't understand. No, you know that some men believe that
the cooking conversation is
if you're a woman, you need to know how to cook before
but if you
takes off that box
who
for
wants
them.
to eat out all the time or mostly, how does he? I know how to cook, but I want to eat out.
Exactly.
I know how to cook, but I don't like cooking.
But when we go and eat
about
out
that?
and we've had the main meal and everything, we come home for
come and
dessert.
eat in.
You
So
can't give
don't
us
worry,
dessert.
You eat ice cream.
That's why I'm happy she said she can cook. You said what? No. Hey, sister.
Well, also let me bring into the conversation about to have Na Oyoo Quartey as well. Hello, Na. Are you live with us on our Zoom? If you can hear us.
Hi guys.
Oh yes, so a wave there can just I think let me just get my headsets on so we can hear you loud and clear. Again, hello, can you hear us?
Hi. Can you guys see me?
Okay, all right, yeah, right there, spot on. Awesome. Welcome to the show this morning. Well, Zoops, I can say Zoops, right?
Hi, thank
Zoops
you.
has given us a background to how she got into the space as well, but maybe you might want to do same and tell us a bit more about your space.
Okay, so hi guys, my name is Na Oyoo Quartey, and thank you so much, guys. I wish I could be in the studio with you this morning, but I had to drop my daughter at school, so I couldn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been food blogging for about 10 years now, or probably more. And how I got into the space basically was very interesting. I realized that, when it comes to Ghanaian ingredients, there's so much that, we could do. But then I realized that we're very much very set on our traditional meals. So, if it's contemporary stew, that is it. There's nothing like beyond contemporary stew, or maybe doing a soup out of it. If it's garden eggs, that was it. So for me, I wanted to create like new recipes using our ingredients, but then in a different form. Okay, why can't we make a garden egg stew, but then we want to incorporate like carrots, want to incorporate like broccoli, just switch things up. So I really was very passionate about how I want to create new recipes using our Ghanaian ingredients. So I realized that a lot of people were like, oh wow, I didn't actually think of this. There was so much feedback from my readers on these kind of new recipes, and also sharing and telling our stories. I was also very passionate about documenting our food stories, because there was so much knowledge gap, not just within Ghana, but outside Ghana when it comes to our traditional ingredients and spices. So I did a couple of videos on our spices, the spices we can find in our markets, and people were like, hey, I didn't know, this spice was called this, and I didn't know this spice could be cooked in this way, and it really started creating a buzz, and people started getting more interested in how we can incorporate certain spices in our meals, and I love food, not just, writing about it, but of course cooking it. And, it really drove me to document our spices, document our ingredients, and everything, that we have around food. Okay. And that's actually what has led me to open my own restaurant. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to come back to you with regards to some of these incredible combinations, if I can say, that you're doing and you've done, just to whet our appetites a bit. But let me just come back to Zeus on this. So, what has been this experience like, for you jumping into the space and talking meals? Is this specifically Ghanaian meals?
No.
Okay, so you blog about
any place to eat in Ghana.
Any place to eat in Ghana. What has been the experience like? What have you learned on the job?
Well, I'm going to start by saying I've gotten fat.
Respect.
Okay, that's
I don't know what she's complaining about.
Now, did you say something? Sorry, did you say something? Okay, all right.
But then when I started, I realized most places went into proper ads. It's usually word of mouth. That's what most Ghanaians go with. But then over the years, I've seen an increase in people investing in their digital marketing, promotions and stuff. So yeah, there's a market for everything. Let me say it like that, because when I started, it was a bit like, are you sure this could be a job? Because that's my full-time job. Yes.
Wow.
So people were
Full-time job. Okay.
pays very well.
Okay.
It does?
I'm not getting fat for nothing. But then I realized that there's a market for it.
Okay.
You see, it just took starting, basically. Yeah. People are open to ideas. Sometimes they just need you to pitch it to them.
So what do you do exactly when you? So I just want to understand. Break it down.
So it's two parts in the sense that some of them I do them for free.
Okay.
I'm just doing reviews. This one, the target is my audience, not the restaurants. So I'm showing you guys where to get stuff. For example, if you want the best fufu, I have a website, I have a page. You can go there to see where you can get it. You can see how much it is so you can budget properly. See, and like I said, the database of the menu, so when you're going out, you don't embarrass yourself and they don't come and use you for a Twitter thread. And then there's the restaurants as well. I help them with their marketing. So I help them curate menus, find staff, things that I think will reach out to their audience, things I think will get them business so they can, especially now, in the past 2 weeks, about 5 places have closed, you see. So those who are, let's say, on their last leg, for example, will come and be like, how do you think we can still stay in business? Because we need to get our stuff out there. We need more customers or else we're literally going to go under. So like two parts.
You started on social, great, to a large extent on Twitter.
Instagram, actually.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I found you on Twitter. That's where I kept seeing pictures of, the food and everything, right? Now, moving it from social on to real life, how would you say you've been able to, just create proper a sync, right? A synchronization between the people you are trying to reach and then the restaurant. And then what the feedback has been so far.
And you see, said offline. Well, basically, it's literally just me simplifying it, getting them customers. So my posts convert to sales for them, which converts like more revenue. So that's just how it goes. Because more people are joining social media, you see, and now word of mouth isn't enough. Like before, someone would say, okay, I get the best wachi from here. But now you want to actually go eat. You want to spend your money. They also need your money. So I'm sort of like a link between them.
Okay, I get it. Now I'm coming to you again in just a few minutes. But Zoops again, so you literally go to the restaurants. Yeah, I want to break it down. You go to the restaurants. Before you became, a major brand for to play with some of these restaurants. You go there, you buy the food yourself. You tell them what the purpose is. You buy, you request, you go through the menu, and then yes, I shouldn't be saying it for you. And
then I pick what I want. Even now, I try to make it. I will not lie. Sometimes I'm invited, but then I try not to make it completely that because I don't want my reviews to be biased. There are times where someone will be like, oh, can I pay you for this? And I always tell them I have to taste it first. I have to be able to vouch for it because sometimes especially they are vicious. Yeah. So if I say go and eat this and it's not nice, they're coming for me.
Okay.
So it's, like I said, I have to keep it very neutral.
Your reputation also matters.
Like it's very necessary because if you try 4 things from something that I posted and you didn't like each of them, even if the 5th one I post is nice, you won't go.
Talking about taste, which is... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're going there.
Talking about taste, which is dependent on what is...
Subjective.
Yeah, subjective.
Very subjective.
How do you tell this is good and this
how do you set the standard?
Yes.
Okay, so I start by saying what I like. First of all, I like a lot of pepper in food. So when I'm describing a meal, I try to be as objective as possible. There's a lot of pepper, there's a lot of sauce, there's this, like you see, just describing stuff. So if someone who likes pepper sees it, then they know, yes, I'm wearing my glasses. Then they know, okay, this meal has pepper inside. So like I'm saying, I'm not going to say this is just really nice. I'm going to break it down and tell you why I think it's nice.
Okay.
And I always ask for feedback. Always.
Okay. I want to know, I want to understand how you do it. So, for instance, let's say this is a restaurant. You walk in here and you're with your camera and everything already placed in front of you. Is that how it works? Oh, you have your phone, so placed in front of you. And the person serves you and you're giving a review. What if it's not nice? Do you do all the reviews in their presence so that they also can sometimes know that, oh, she's filming herself saying things about our food? What is she saying about our food? Have you ever, in that case, had an experience where you've reviewed the food that was nice?
Basically, they lock the door and say, today, madam,
we are going to beat
you won't leave here to say nice things about my food.
So the format of my post is usually reels, where I don't always show myself. I don't do a voiceover. It's just showing you. And then the written post. Now, the written post, I'll never do it whilst I'm there. But if I try to judge it. So let's say there are 3 good things and 1 bad thing. I'll write that. If it's something that all 4 things are bad, I won't even post it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's what I'm saying. So I can't just continue. I can't make it all about ads that people have paid me for, because if it's not good, I have to give it back. And those are very awkward conversations to have, especially when the person's like way older and you have to say, this would be it.
I'm going to be asking.
So
Okay,
if you
sorry.
spend your money and it's not good, you're not even talking about
I
it.
won't even
and you're not
post
even
it.
giving them reviews also as well in the restaurant. To say, look, I this is what I do. I came to taste your food. It doesn't taste this way. That I'm doing you a favor by not telling people not to come, by telling them it's awful, but rather I'm giving you this review personally. Do you do that?
It depends. Sometimes I reach out to them. I don't tell them it's a professional thing, or I don't tell them it's an actual review. I
Just
just
a
say I
customer
came
review.
and this was what happened. And honestly, people don't really take
Care.
that advice. Yeah.
People
So
don't take advice. That what
They
you
don't
said.
care.
They don't.
So-
They get very defensive.
okay. So now, are you on the line with us, please? Zeus has been talking about she loving pepper and certain kinds of things in her food, and she reviews based on her preferences. For you as well, let's talk about some of the interesting meals and combinations that you've done or you've explored, and it came out very well. For persons like Zeus to come in there and go like, this is the place to be.
Well, I think one of my very popular dishes, aside the fact that I make ramen, a lot of people associate me with my ramen nowadays. They call me a ramen chef. And
A ramen
I would
chef.
say my shepherd's pie. Yeah, it's a ramen chef. Believe it or not, a lot of people ask me, why are you making ramen? I mean, it's so good, but why are you making ramen? I get that question a lot of times.
I'm trying to understand,
but
please.
I think my
I'm
shepherd's
old
pie is-
school. I'm old school. What is ramen chef? I'm told noodles.
So ramen is
noodles.
actually...
So she's a chef.
So, yes, it's actually a noodle dish.
Oh.
Yes, but it's a noodle dish in a broth, and then you top it with like chicken or pork or prawns, and then you have different vegetables on it. So I had to make an Afro fusion version of it. So I tend to use like a lot of Ghanaian spices in making the broth, and then I source my pork from like Ghanaian pork farmers, and my chicken also from Ghanaian chicken poultry farmers as well. And I think I'm also well known for my shepherd's pie. So my shepherd's pie, I use sweet potatoes, local sweet potatoes to make my shepherd's pie, and then incorporate like broccoli, incorporate a bit of local vegetables in it, and spices as well. So it makes it very, very iconic. Yes.
Wow, that's like going very wild on some of these meals. Is it also on the basis of maybe the health benefits of each one, or is just a matter of taste and let's see what's going to come out of it?
I think for me the main thing is health, because I believe that whatever you put into your body will have an effect on your physical outlook and how you feel. So for me, the most important thing is health. So making sure that my ingredients are always fresh. I'm always sourcing from very good suppliers, making sure that what I'm using, they are not defective or, out of shape or anything. So for me, health always comes first, and then flavor, and then presentation. So when I say flavor, of course, it's taste. I want somebody to eat my food and be like, oh my gosh, like, wow, like I must have this again, So I'm very, when it comes to taste, I always tell my assistants and anyone I work with that focus on the taste. Let the person experience your food and be like, oh my gosh, I have to try this again, or I have to recommend to my friends.
Yes.
Come and eat this.
Okay, now
it's important to me.
Now we're going to try and fix your sound real quickly. We're just having some quick feedback there. But just hold on for us in there. But let me bring what she's saying back to Zeus in the studio. So, there are people who are going wild and crazy. I mean, this whole food talk even excites me. There are people who are going wild and crazy with their ideas and stuff like that. I don't know about. I don't know. For me, I get this. When I see too many combinations, I get scared of tummy upsets and stuff like that. And for you, who's been talking food, who is taste first and tell, do you sometimes be afraid of what you're going to be eating and stuff like that?
I think I limit how adventurous I am with the food I eat. I'll eat duck, but I won't eat frog.
Okay. Have you tasted frog before?
No.
Never.
I wouldn't even try it.
Why? It's not handsome.
No.
It's not an
Snake?
attractive creature.
How about snake?
No, but I had eel.
Okay.
It's like Snake's brother.
So, what's the weirdest thing that you tasted? I mean,
I would literally say eel.
Eel.
I had that at Rockefeller's.
Okay.
It's interesting.
What about dog?
Never.
Cat.
No.
Joseph and Mary.
I had rabbit though, if that counts.
Yeah.
but
rabbit tastes
okay,
really
yeah.
Not eating these meals. Is it personal, or is you don't want to explore them? Because the job you do would demand that if you're talking, various kinds of meals, people would come to you, for advice and stuff like that.
No, it's just there's only so much I can do. You see, even the rabbits, it took a while. I think that was like sometime this year. Frog, really? Cats.
But I want to know who your target audience are. I'm looking at maybe for instance, yesterday we went scouting for wache, but where we went to buy the wache is not. Say again.
Did you get it?
Oh yeah, yesterday I needed to have said it earlier because I told them in the morning that Cyril was going to sponsor wache, and he did. He did.
A man of his word. A man of his word.
I know, but I'm looking at what kind of audience are you targeting? Are they this is how I always refer to them, the peshepe people who always go to the restaurant, or you're looking at me who always like the roadside fufu that has everything, the man pounding, and I see him sometimes sweating it and all of that. Are you that kind of person? Are these which people are you targeting?
Honestly, I don't have one. I spread it across. For example, my last post was wache. But my next post, I went to eat the most expensive steak in Ghana. Just 950 cedis.
Are you kidding me?
See, so the target market for that
Did you pay for that?
Hold up. How big is it?
It's cut into little bits, I suppose.
Oh my God.
900 and
served where?
So I try to.
Is that not the full lump?
no, don't do
free
adverts for
promo.
them. Yeah.
You tell me of
No, is that not the full lump? I mean,
Yeah, can you imagine?
950 cedis. I'll get a small goat
I tell you, small goats.
and grill it comfortably.
So you see, I try to cater to everybody. So if you want cheap food, well, they said budget. If you want budget food, you can get some on my page. If you want super fancy, you want fine dining and stuff, you can get that as well.
But how do you make your money? I can't imagine investing 950 cedis
Right?
in one meal and, just to cater to a certain target. How do I get my money back?
That wasn't even the worst part. The drink was 180.
Hey, sister, that ain't.
Right?
So you are living it.
is that just
No,
for
but how do you
content?
get the money back? Yeah, how do you get your money back?
Brands, basically. So mine is because I'm more active on Twitter than Instagram, even though I started with Instagram. So I've sort of built my brand there further than on Instagram. So brands approach me, can you post this for us or can you do this for us? And that's where the real money is. The restaurants will pay you, but how much can you possibly collect from them? You see.
When you say brands, are you talking about like ingredient brands or backend brands or like food brands?
No, because if you check my Twitter, you'll see I talk about everything. Yeah, I talk about literally everything on my account. So, and my page got verified, so I can charge a little
Double.
more.
All right, she's a verified.
Oh, I'm not paying anything.
We'll pay. We have to.
She can verify for you. I mean, as she's been verified, she can, she can
Okay, so now
verify
I
for
can
you.
increase my prices. So
Now that you talked money, let me just ask now. I think we fixed her mic now. Now, are you still there with us?
Hi.
Yes. So,
Yes,
can
I'm
you tell
here.
us how, what the financial, the revenues and the investments that, go into becoming a food blogger for you? Is it expensive?
Right.
Is it lucrative?
So the thing is, you have to start from somewhere if you want to go into food blogging. All right. And for me, initially, I had a Canon. So my very first Canon was a T3i. So that was a little investment I made into food blogging because I wanted my pictures to be good quality. Because when I started, there weren't many people creating content around food. So that was a little investment I made. And I continued for about 5 years before I actually started making some form of money with brands. So brands wanted me to like promote their content. So like maybe if it's like a kitchen appliance brand, whether it's Philips or it's Kenwood, whichever brand it was, they want you to use the appliance to create a recipe, and then based on your rates, then they will pay you. So quality really matters to most of these brands. They want to see quality photos or videos regarding the food that you're creating, whether it's for your blog, wherever you're going to share it. So you must have rates. You know, if you start small, then your rates, of course, because you're not going to have a very wide audience. So your audience is not going to be very, very large. So you have to manage the rates that you're also setting up. And also know the sort of content that you want to create. You know, so if it's, let's say you're creating a niche food blog for, let's say, vegans, or you're targeting only healthy recipes, or you're targeting a certain segment, you know, you must identify them and then stick to that niche, because that's what you're going to be known for. So that if you want to target certain brands, the brands know exactly what your content is. And brands who are also like in the FCMG, so the fast moving consumer goods industry, when they see you, they know that, okay, this food blogger, she creates content around only keto recipes, or around only, low cholesterol or low sodium dishes. Maybe they target only a certain demographic. They know exactly what you do, and they know how to approach you. So know your niche, start small, and then set your rates. You know, so manage your rates. People get too excited with, I have 10,000 likes on this post, so maybe my rate should be 2,000 cedis. But how are you sure that those likes are going to translate into your audience actually purchasing from those brands?
For you know, it could just be the beauty of the photo that was taken, not necessarily even, you know, taste or anything.
Exactly, you know, and most brands are also more interested in how the content you're creating is going to translate into sales for them. So I really think that as a food blogger, you have to really focus on the value you are creating, not only for your audience, but also for the brand, and build up that trust. Build up that trust with your audience, because once your audience trusts you, they know that, okay, now or Zoops has said that this product is good. So if I purchase it, it's actually going to provide the benefits that they said is going to provide for me. You have to build that trust. You know,
yes, you did mention
I know that
content quality.
Yeah, go ahead.
You did
Sorry.
mention content quality, right? I understand that we have, you know, different types of people. Some people may not start necessarily with a good device, be it a camera or a phone. Someone else will invest into that aspect of the business before actually starting the business. With you, how did you start, and then how were your transitions in devices, right, before getting to the point you are at now? I'm asking this for the sake of someone who would also want to start but doesn't know how to.
Okay, so for me, I started, like I said earlier, I started with the Canon T3i, so that's a beginner camera. You know, I had a full-time job when I started blogging. And so for me, that was like taking part of my salary and investing into that. You know, before I transitioned into getting a Canon 6D, so which is a higher quality camera, which could really do more things than my initial camera. So if you're out there, you know, for me, I think as a starter, you should get either a Samsung or an iPhone. And the iPhone for me right now, I would say from the 6S upwards would give you like really great images and video quality that you need for a blog. Because right now, more people are interested in quality. More people are interested in like photos that like will blow your mind and be like, oh wow, this person's blog or this person's content is really like he's really invested into this, and they'll stay tuned, they'll subscribe to your channel, or they'll follow you, whether on TikTok or Instagram, because of the amount of investments that you've made. So the thing is, even though you're starting small, just make sure that the value you're providing to your audience or to your whoever that you're attracted to, it's really high. So don't be so focused on, oh, this person has done something on Wache or Jollof, let me do the same thing. Identify maybe what people are really interested in looking at. So if it's creating the recipes for toddlers, maybe you should look at that and focus more on that. If you're looking at, oh, there's this gap that nobody is talking about, let me fill this gap, then start working on that, because that's what will really make you stand out. And you really want to be distinct when it comes to food blogging.
In being a ramen chef, in being a ramen chef, Oyoo, some years or months ago, there was this speculation that some particular brand of noodles isn't good for even children and adults, and then also eating noodles late in general also poses a health risk to you. Now, having to narrow down as a ramen chef, how have you been able to take out or just demystify, all of these things that go round about people, so that they are able to trust you enough and then accept whatever food it is that you are doing?
So for me, I actually use only the noodles. I use the noodles that I use, sweet noodles, is the only thing I use. So I don't use, so a lot of the ramen noodle packs come with like seasonings and all kinds of mixes. So for us, it's just using only noodles, and we make our own broth from scratch. So the broth aspect, or the soup base, is made from scratch, using our own spices, using our own herbs, so like parsley, like celery. It's all fresh. So we don't rely on seasoning packs or packets, because that is where most people are afraid of that. Oh, this seasoning, I don't even know what's inside. But with us, for example, focusing on the freshness and starting from scratch. So I'm using like fresh ginger, using fresh garlic, everything is fresh. So we don't rely on artificial spices or seasonings, which have preservatives like MSG, etc., or high salt content, so we avoid the use of all that. So that for me is really, really more important.
Okay, now, you mentioned something earlier that has got me salivating. You said something about sweet potato and shepherd's pie. And my mind is gone. Like, I'm calling you after, so know that. And off that, I want to delve into your home cook, the home cook side of your brand, right? Because that's also a big thing. And I think that's also even probably a big earner. I want to understand more how it works, the kind of experiences you bring into homes and people's, the home menus and stuff like that.
So for me, being a home chef is more about communicating that my style of cooking is like how I cook at home. How we cook at home basically is, for me personally, like I don't use stock cubes to cook. So I'm not mentioning brands, but I don't use stock cubes to cook at all. So we are cooking fresh, and we are cooking healthy meals. So for me, it's like, okay, I'm baking fish. I'm not deep frying fish. If you want deep fried, crispy fish, that's fine. So baking fish, when it's fresh, is healthier, and it's more flavorful when you're using like fresh herbs and spices. So for example, if you want baked grouper, for example, we are spicing it with like fresh ginger, basil, fennel seeds, etc. And when you taste that fish, it's like amazing. So home cooking for me is really crucial. And it's not just, I'm cooking because I want people to come and buy. No, but I want people to eat my food and be like, I actually feel good and I feel healthier, eating this woman's food. Food is so important. And what I put in my body is so important, because like I want to feel good. Like after I've eaten a meal, I don't want to be like, there's too much oil on this, or it's too much salt, or there's too much spices, etc. No, I want to have a good experience when I eat, and that's what I translate to my customers. So, for example, yesterday we made some chicken stir fry, and our customer was like, "Oh my gosh, this is too good," and they were just, so happy about their meals because we've incorporated vegetables, and you're not just eating, when it comes to vegetables, you're not just eating a salad, but it's incorporated into the main dish as well. So my customers are really happy about the fact that they are eating healthier meals, even in the office.
More concerned about the process. So we see the end results. We see, the bits and pieces of it. I know one of the reasons I don't like cooking is the number of hours you spend in the kitchen to get a meal done. Now, I want to understand, you are giving us just bits and pieces of it from your from the reality. How long does it take for you to make these meals? And do you also sell to us a very faster means, or because we are just looking at the abbreviated method, we would also have to go through? I don't know if you're trying to get what I'm asking. I want to understand how many people are behind the scenes doing the job. So we just see parts and pieces of
so that we don't think it's an easy
deal. So,
an easy deal, yeah?
Basically.
Okay.
What's her team like? What
Which
resources go into it? Who's in the back end?
For her, and she's just there relaxed, and then we just see the.
We want to see your factory now.
We want to understand so that we don't get carried away. But when we want to do the real deal, we realize that, Charlie, this is not a job for one person.
Look, this industry is no joke. Like, honestly, we stand on our feet from like 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. every day. It's no joke. And we're only two.
Two?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
See why I said women were powerful.
We are only two. We are taking on the third
people,
person to handle...
she's still taking, we can hear
her. So we are going to take on a third person soon, but currently we are two. So I actually have an assistant who I hired from Accra Technical University, and she is like the kitchen assistant right now. And when we do events or something, I go out and I hire other, temporary stuff. But currently, and I kid you, like in a day we can do as much as maybe 10, 15 or 20 orders, but it's just two of us handling the food right now. So it's very hectic. It can get very wild, especially when you have to deal with deliveries, and the delivery system in Ghana, it's really, really it's very challenging. It's very, very challenging dealing with riders and drivers and making sure that your customer gets, their lunch, the good stays and on time, but, by God's grace, it's next year we are hoping that at least we'll be 4 by then, But currently, I do the marketing aspects in terms of digital marketing. In terms of, expenses and the financial aspects and everything, I do that. But because COVID really affected me when it happened, because I actually had a brick and mortar restaurant in East Legon. And then just when I was about to open, we went into lockdown, and, basically I couldn't open. Then. I mean, we're 3 staff by then. And until the lockdown was lifted, before, we tried to resume and everything. But by then, the rent was going up, and, you haven't worked enough time. So we couldn't really catch up with, paying the rent and all that. So unfortunately, I had to relocate to Osu and, cook from home and, try and pick up from where we left off. I mean, I made a lot of loss, but so many lessons learned in the past 2 years, like such a rich experience when it comes to the hospitality and hospitality industry. I've learned so much. Like, I feel like, oh my gosh, if I hadn't started this, I wouldn't have known what I know now. Because as a food blogger, I started as a food blogger, and it's easy to go to restaurants and to review and to write about what's not working or what's working and the taste of the food. And it's so easy to do that. But then when you're in the back end of things, you're like, oh my gosh, like you have to be on people to ensure that the food is always standard quality, the presentation is on point. Because, now I have the experience as a food blogger. I know what restaurants can be doing better, so I apply that to, my workspace as well. And by God's grace, it's been positive. It's
Surely,
really good
it
so far.
sounds positive. Okay, let me put you on hold here. Let me come to Zoops in the studio real quickly. She's given us insights into the back end, and all the craziness that goes on there just to get the food looking good. Two things I want to ask you. One, do you get to go to places where the food is tasting different each time you probably visited there? Do you go back there again to do a second review? And how many meals can you taste in a day? I know there's a 3-in-1 combo, but so yeah, let's start off with the reviews. Like, do you go back to give them a second chance attempt?
If the food isn't good, yes, and if it's good, that's why I ask for feedback, because even with things like pasta, sometimes they can use spaghetti, next time they use a different kind. It's like there's no consistency with most places, so that's where, like I said, the feedback is very necessary to me. I tell people, if there's ever a problem, you have to come and tell me, so I can. If I need to go back or if I need to edit my caption, stuff like that. And what was the second question?
Yeah, and then
How many times do you have to eat?
how many times are you eating in a day? Like
Okay, so for days or weeks where I won't be around or I'll be busy or I just don't feel like leaving my apartment, I will pick one day and do like 5 in a day. And the thing is, I don't have to eat everything. I just need to be able to taste to know what it looks like. You can get that with 3-4 spoonfuls. You're fine.
Have you had any violence? And when I say violence, I'm not talking physical, like
As in
punch.
people coming to tell you, why would you write this about my place? Yes.
How do you
I
handle
used to
that?
rate before over 10. First of all, I had to stop that because, again, consistency and because people get very aggressive. Someone was mad at me because I went to his cousin's place and I asked for water with lemon. And they gave me water with lime. It was like super hot water. And I was like, well, I have an ulcer. Are you trying to kill me? So I wrote about it and I said, well, the food was good and everything, but they made this one mistake and he came after me. Yo, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Have they thrown legal suits on you before? Like,
For what?
trying to sue?
I wonder what the reason is, right?
What
Because I
exactly?
watch, I like food. I watch a bunch of the food channels on satellite TV and all that. And some of the critiques are thorough.
Yeah, I think I'm actually quite
Somebody
nice.
will really... Yeah, you are
Yeah,
quite
she
nice.
is. So she doesn't
some
go
of the
hard,
critiques,
hard.
people call out the chef and literally give it to you there and leave. So her being able to even...
Before even going...
On the IG Live, like I just had this meal, Miss G's restaurant. This is horrible. Where is she? She's here now. Blah 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 blah. Right there.
Yeah.
So I think your scoring system over 10 shouldn't be so
I'm actually quite nice.
horrible.
Okay,
right?
so
Maybe we are intolerant, with things like that.
Yeah, like I said, even if you try and give
where
feedback,
do you
they get
draw?
very defensive.
Where do you draw the fine line between content, likes, and truth? As being honest with us.
That's why I said, if I don't have anything good to say at all, I won't post
post
it. If there's something wrong, I will have to say it, but then I will add the good parts as well. So you know what to expect. For example, if the food is good but you wait 2 hours, I have to write that.
Okay.
Zubs, you do the reviews and you do it so well, but with food, sometimes you're not so sure how the outcome will be. There may be food poisoning to an extent. Someone will have running stomach to some
She has
extent,
something
right?
to say. The way
Yes,
she...
the way she's
So
nodding,
there
right?
was this
Are
one
there-
place I
no,
went.
Hold on. I want to find out, right, if that happens to you and to people you recommend it to, and if that is the case, moving forward, are you looking to also have some parts on your website that helps reach healthcare easily? Should that happen? You get what I mean?
great idea.
On your website, right?
Yeah,
That's
she
a
just
great idea.
she just answered. You said that's a great idea.
Oh,
Thank you.
I thought she said no. I thought you said you didn't hear me.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Guys,
Like,
health
yeah,
page coming
she's-
soon.
Yeah. I think there should be a health so that when someone so this is why I wanted to get the food. Let me just reach a health.
But I encourage people that if you go anywhere, even if I posted it and I posted a good review, if you see the tiniest bit of dirt
get
with the
back
food,
here.
report it. Because there was this one place I went to, and you see, they made me catch them because I ordered hotspot. You know how hotspot is?
Yeah.
And you know how hotspot is, right?
Yeah.
So I got it. I paid 170 CDs, and obviously it was a lot, so I couldn't finish it. So I said I wanted to take the rest home, like what I'd already made. And they said, no, you have to stay here and finish it.
Wow.
Huh?
And I said, no problem. So I was going to eat it, and then I did it, and then there was a cockroach inside.
There was a what inside? Wait, hold on. Hold on. Say it again.
That was
because
baby
no.
cockroach in my
Rewind. You went out to a place. No, the reason I'm saying that I need this footage. You went to a place.
Yes.
And after.
Literally, and that's, I wouldn't have noticed if they had just let me take it home, or if I'd taken it home and I'd seen it. I mean, I could just call them and be upset. But at the place,
I want to throw up.
So what was their reaction?
I want to throw up.
They still tried to make me pay for it. I was like, you are.
You're joking.
Anyway, redacted.
A cockroach.
Exactly, but then I reported them to FDA. Because it's a very serious thing. You could make people really sick.
Yeah.
And FDA went and made them shut down for a day. Now, when I posted that, I'd gone to this place. It was a Chinese place. I didn't have to mention the name. Everybody was like, oh, it's definitely this place. I'm like, so it's dirty. And you guys know. And nobody has ever said anything.
Is it on
So wait. Are you the one
It's
responsible for that Chinese restaurant being shut down?
No.
She said they shut down for a
They
day.
shut down for a
But I
day.
didn't mention the names.
But the reason why
no.
it was
Okay.
just for a day was they said nobody has ever filed a formal complaint against them. And I'm like, but looking at the response when I posted, clearly it's a thing for them. Everybody knows that they are really dirty. So I tell people that if you see a cockroach, if you see a bug, don't let people beg you and say, oh, madam, we're a small business. Report it. Because you could get sick. Somebody could get sick.
That's
I've been buying suya from some guy. Now you're making me think again and again. You know suya, right?
Yeah.
Suya bochi.
They are doing
And when they cut in
When
between
they
the
cut,
fingers,
they
without
never-
looking.
Charlie,
Now, when I'm eating, I eat very slowly. I'll be patting my rice and things because
It's
just
traumatic.
in case.
Like,
Yes, it is.
Now, back to your off what she just said. What does it mean for you with health and surroundings and
Standards
stuff?
and
You're
all that.
setting standards for yourself. When you are doing your meals.
Can you repeat that?
Did you catch my question?
No, can you repeat
Talking
that,
about certain
please?
standards. I think your microphone is on mute. Yes. If you can hear us, certain standards. With your your
Yes.
meals. Can you hear us?
I can
We
hear you.
Oh, unfortunately, we can't seem
Yes.
to. Okay, there, yeah. Sorry, my bad, please. I'm just traumatized by the
I
cockroach.
can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm still dealing with the cockroach. Wait, so before that, wait, you actually, you had drunk some already?
Yes. Imagine.
We'll come back to the story. Tell us about the standards you set, for yourself when you are preparing your meals, choice of vegetables, how you handle it and stuff like that. Just run us through real quickly.
So, for example, with fresh vegetables, when we buy it for us, we have to wash everything and wash not just in water, but salt water. Or if you have the vegetable cleaning liquid, you can soak them in that before it's put in the fridge. And also when it comes to the fridge, your fridge has to be at a certain temperature. You can't just keep things in the fridge and think that it's okay. Thankfully in my previous job, I did a food safety training, and this was in Scotland. So it gave me a very good understanding of how important it is to preserve ingredients properly, how to store and package, let's say, meats, dairy, etc. in the fridge. So, for example, there's no way you can keep fresh meat on top shelf in the fridge. Why? Because the blood from the meat can drip onto the other ingredients in the fridge. So this is not just even for restaurants, but even your own home. So when you take, let's say, fresh meat out of the freezer, you want to defrost it, keep it in the bottom shelf of your fridge or the last shelf of the fridge. So that's one of the standards that we ensure. And also fumigating the space, where you work. At least once a month, we fumigate to make sure that, bugs and all kinds of things, are taken care of. And also making sure that, spices and other ingredients are stored properly when it comes to grains and cereals. So I always tell, people I work with or my assistant that, look, if this rice we've cooked this rice, there's no way I'm going to use it for the next 3 days. Because honestly, you hear horror stories like people will grill, let's say, tilapia, and then they'll keep it in the freezer, and then they'll sell it throughout the week. Like, it just blows my mind. How do you do that? Because fish, for example, it's going to grow bacteria inside, you defrost it, and then you sell it back to the customer. I don't, it just blows my mind. You know, people have to start thinking of the consumer when you have to start thinking of the consumer when it comes to food preparation and selling of food. But it's like people are more interested in profiting than the health of the consumer. You know, and for me, if I cook jollof and today and make there's like 2 portions left, there's no way I'm going to sell it over the next 2 days. No, like really care about what the consumer is putting in their stomachs. It's very important to me because we have all kinds of when it comes to foodborne illnesses. Okay, so there's salmonella, for example. Do you know? So when you cook plain rice, for example, even at home, when you cook plain rice, before you eat it, make sure you warm it to a certain temperature. Don't just heat it half-heartedly because rice can be very dangerous when it's not heated properly because bacteria grows in there. So you want to make sure you're heating properly to kill all the bacteria in there. You know, so these are things, you know, we keep in check at the restaurants to make sure that before even food goes out, it must go out at a certain temperature. When the temperature reduces,
yes.
Make sure that means, you know, bacteria is given the chance to grow in there. So that's one of the things that we ensure.
Thank you on that. I mean, my mind is still playing wild with the cockroach in there, and I can imagine. I mean, how you felt knowing that you just consumed probably cockroach.
Right.
What do you call the things again? The antennas, yes. You've just eaten or drunk.
That was the worst part. Because, you know, since it's hot pot, it's boiling. So I cooked it.
Yeah,
I cooked it.
It was one of the things that was.
Well, if it's consolation, there are places where those bugs are eaten.
A cockroach will be in there.
No, it was dead, I'm sure.
No, it was dead, oh. That's what I'm saying. It was dead. So it was cooked inside. Every part of it.
And the juices.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But wait, overall, was the soup was it nice?
Really?
You never know. Maybe the secret ingredient.
I always have some saying. I'll say it. You can't even say it on air, but I always have some saying that when cockroaches, leave their residue or something in food, it tastes better. I can't say it in English. They say ayi something like spiders and cockroaches and stuff.
What's it called? You know, intestines. When you buy it for inside, you buy intestines. It tastes good. It tastes earthy. It tastes earthy and organic and blah blah. You know what that tastes like?
Yeah.
The sun?
Feces?
No, yeah.
Hold on.
It's not everybody that pulls out
our time is almost up.
You don't like intestines.
Our time is almost up, but let me let Na off the line. But Na, in your final words to us, what would you want to say about all these, just in about 30 seconds, what would you want to say about all these years of food vlogging and now becoming a master chef, real quickly, and how you encourage, other young people as well, or people who want to get into this business? Just in 30 seconds for us.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. So basically, I want to say and encourage everyone out there who wants to go into food blogging or who is already food blogging is let's keep documenting our food stories. It's really important for the world to know what we have, and we need to show that love and desire for our own local meals and look at the different ways we can infuse our local dishes with global cuisine, make our dishes more exciting. And there's so much we can do. So let's keep focusing not just on, reviewing restaurants, but then also documenting what we have, our histories, our food histories, our techniques and all that. There's so much we can do. So I encourage anyone else there who wants to go into food blogging that start small, identify your niche, and create quality content all the time. So thank you guys so much. Yeah. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much too. We're really looking forward to one to get you into our studio. So thank you very, very much. Is FDA working with you? Tourism Ministry working with you in any way, Zoobs?
No.
Have you approached them?
Mm-hmm. Well, not FDA, but the tourism.
I was going to ask about that.
And what's the story?
He said they don't have the budget.
Did you go ask him for money?
What was the budget?
No, but I think just to... First thing out the door, they'll let you know. And They are working on, they were working on some stuff, with regards to tourism and food and things. So they already have a team of people. I'm sorry, I'm saying like I'm being petty. I'm actually not. They already have a team of people who, I think
you'll work with.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, not to hold brief for the ministry, but
Don't
sometimes
for them. They have people.
yeah,
they
no,
work with, that is
sometimes
all.
like sometimes maybe it's already started. They are doing something.
I hope they didn't take your proposal before they told.
Oh no.
So yeah, stuff
I'm
like
still
that.
open to
No,
it.
I am.
So
I'm saying this because I mean I've also been hurt by some reactions and some things. I was
We
hoping.
all have, but we're not entitled to.
You know,
they don't have. It's not by force.
by
that
force.
They
That's what I'm saying. That
So
exactly.
they're
You're right.
entitled to work with whoever they
Whoever
want
they
to
choose.
Work.
Yeah,
It doesn't
and
stop
on
her
that.
from going on with her business as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
I'm still
Wow.
open to it, but if the chance doesn't come,
There's a movie. We are wrapping up though. But there's a movie. As it Idi Amin's story. He was eating monkey brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? I'm
Remember?
hungry this man. Why are you talking about so many
No, but if you order fufu at a local shop and you don't order intestines, you are not there.
Local, please.
when you say local,
Local.
you mean local like under the tree?
Not at a restaurant.
Local
Don't-
like
you don't do
air
those
condition
places.
at
You see, she doesn't do those places.
No, that is because I don't even like fufu.
Okay.
So what's your best local fufu
Cake.
She said she
banku?
doesn't like.
Cake.
Kenke.
Oh,
Oh,
thank
where?
goodness.
Osum night market.
Anyway.
Oh, she's not advertising for anybody.
Oh, it's not even that, but I really like kinky, so
No, I'm saying that where's the best place to get kinky?
the best place to get kinky.
You all recommend?
Roadside or restaurant?
Roadside, which kind of restaurant?
Restaurant
Sister.
kinky, yeah.
No,
Will
but roadside, how will I describe
Stress
it?
my life
Like,
with restaurant life.
how will I describe it? Will I say, okay, there's a place in East Legon, right? Baoleshi,
All
around
right.
the pharmacy.
It's
You
okay.
see,
My time is up. My time is up. We have to go. But with all this food talk, you people, you have hurt me, pa. Because now I'm going for kinky tonight. Kinky sausage, egg,
Everything,
fish,
yes.
corned beef,
Everything.
small pepper, red, black, blue. And
Chop
on that
and
note,
flavor.
intestine.
Chop and
yeah.
flavor.
Our time is up. We are getting cut off now. We'll definitely be. I'm told the meal is waiting for us outside. So yeah. All right.
Don't clap too early.
What is a food talk show without food? And we are going to our
don't trust
producers to
these
have a
guys.
discussion on this. Our
You're
time
going to
is
be
up.
disappointed.
Yeah, very disappointed.
We'll tell you tomorrow.
We're back again tomorrow. All right, it's gonna be a big day with Jam's album review right here in the studio with the man Sarkodie.
The highest.
Now.
Landlord.